Trying to turn the music on, no music. Now my phone's acting up. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everybody doing? Welcome to What's the Word Wednesdays. This is Roger the Dodger, the Nuggets Lillard. How's everybody doing this evening? Make sure you tag all your business partners. Get them on in here to get this powerful training on tonight. We got a special guest with us on tonight. Actually, we got two special guests. got, I'll let you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves.
All right. Daryl Two Jacket Jenkins is in the building. Again, I'm a regular co-host with my amazing brothers in success here.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
Mr.
And I,
Flacco.
yeah, well, look, we are none other than Eric E. Clifton. Sorry you can't see me, but we're having some major technical difficulties over here with this Verizon. Verizon sucks.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start out with the announcements for this week. First and foremost, we want to welcome all brand new team members on. If this is your first time, welcome again to What's the Word Wednesdays, where we do training, we do mentoring, we do coaching, teaching, you name it, we got it right here. What's the Word Wednesday? So first and foremost, each and every first and third Wednesday night, we are right here in the Platinum Network. Also, Platinum Network that is run by our fearless leadership of Mr. Preston Scott, four-star director. He's a six-figure ring wearer, six-figure earner, top 35 money earner in all of Planet Marketing. And we are here on Platinum Network. Also, you want to make sure every Thursday night, if you're in the DMV, that you are plugging into the weekly meeting at the Harborside Hotel. That's going to be at 6:45 p.m. There's training until 7:15, and of course at 7:30 we start the weekly meeting there. Also, each and every Sunday night at 8 p.m. is the Game Plan Zoom, and you don't want to miss that because we have our fearless leader, Mr. Scott, training us up each and every Sunday night. Also coming up, we got a Super Saturday if you're right here in the DMV, May 27th. It's going to be in College Park. I'm not sure if that flyer was posted yet, but we do know there's going to be one here um, in Maryland. Also, I want to convention, y'all. This is the last announcement. If you do not have your tickets, there's still some left. You want to make sure that you are in the building all the way down to Orlando at the largest Marriott in the entire country and globally. Actually, it's going to be 5,000 of us fellowshipping there and getting some of the best training from the top leadership in the entire company. So that's going to be our announcements. Excuse me, a little raspy, y'all, because I'm still fighting a little something, but we're going to get it done tonight. And so let's jump right into our training on this evening. Eric, did you want to start it off? They can still hear you, my brother.
Y'all can still hear me.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
I am glad that you guys can still hear me, even with the technical difficulties. We push and push on, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be talking about on tonight the seven. Uh, I lost my little notes. What's it called? The seven what? The seven highly effective habits. Am I reading it wrong?
You got it.
They're the seven highly effective habits of effective people, right? We start off with that first one, which is being proactive. Mr. Lillard, what are your thoughts on being proactive and make it pertain towards the industry, right? Being proactive, highly effective people are very proactive. They don't wait to things to happen and be reactive. They are proactive. Speak on proactive.
Well, first and foremost, being proactive, Planet Marketing is a network marketing company, right? So you're in the network marketing industry, and we all should be proactive in learning the art, the craft of network marketing. See, most people they're in network marketing, but network marketing is not in them. And so, in order to do that, you got to be proactive in learning the industry. First and foremost, if you're watching us tonight, right, and every first and third Wednesdays, we go over a lot of the things that you need, the tools you need to have, and the mindset that you need to have to operate and be proactive in this industry. I've watched the Daryl Jenkins of the world. I've watched the Deborah Bonds of the world, who when they were brand new, but they took their business serious. In fact, are you taking your business serious? You gotta be proactive in that, right? And so if you're not proactive in your business and in network marketing, we're here to grow a network, right? And teach people how to do this. You gotta be proactive. Daryl, I'll let you jump in on that.
Absolutely. So, proactiveness is key in any success, because those are the people who are the go-getters. Most people ideally are more reactive than they are proactive. So they wait for something to happen. Case in point, most people don't take this business serious until something happens. You heard JP Watkins say in our leadership bootcamp yesterday to our leaders that are participating, it wasn't until she got fired from her corporate job that she really took this serious, right? And so sometimes we take a moment to just realize that the business we have, the power that it has to eclipse our current salary, would make anyone be proactive enough to work their business. That's how I see it. When we came into this business, we understood that the compensation plan was designed for people to win at a high level, right? Minimal work, high payoff. So we focused on being proactive and getting through bronze, silver, gold, director in training, 1-star, 2-star, and so on and so forth. We were proactive in our approach. We saw the finish line, so we went after it.
I love it. I love it. Going after it. In the realm of being proactive, we think of responsibility. Being responsible for your business, right? Being responsible for the opportunity that shouldn't have just fell in your lap. Being responsible for the opportunity that you paid for, right? And when you're a responsible adult, you do certain things thinking long term. So that long term thinking is me being proactive, or I should say the long term thinking added with some action is me being proactive. Give the people, and either one of you guys can jump on it, but give them some examples of taking that proactive action, mixing it with some responsibility. Give them some examples.
Wait a minute, Raj. You're breaking up, Raj. You're breaking up.
I'm glad it was Roger. I thought it was me.
While we're waiting for him to come back, he might be over there buffering next. I'm gonna go ahead and start. So you asked about the responsible part of what it is we do is, again, taking a bull and grabbing it by its horns, right? We understand that we're responsible for our own success. It's an independent opportunity, right? It's a volunteer army. What you choose to do or don't do is going to determine your success level. So I was responsible enough in my own understanding of the opportunity to know that it's nobody else's responsibility to get me to where I wanted to get to in this business. I understood that there was a gateway, that there's doors and there's levels and there's things that I had to accomplish. And if it is to be, it's up to me. I have to make that happen. I can't wait around for the doors to open. So responsibly, I had to sit down and figure out, what did the work look like? What did I need to do personally to get through each of these levels, these ranking positions, to be able to walk on the stage, to be able to earn a jacket with a star or 2 or 3 almost, right? I had to be responsible in how I was managing the business, because it's mine. It's nobody else's business but my own. So at some point, we have to take ownership and responsibility, being proactive for our own success and getting the things done.
I love it. I love it. I ain't gonna beat a dead horse. Being responsible, and I think everyone listening to us, y'all grown, y'all really know what that means. Now it's up to you to ask your coach, mentor, or the person who sponsored you, what are some of the daily activities I need to be responsible for in maintaining and growing my business. You got the framework and the mindset. You already know what things you need to plug into, right? So just continue to plug in. All right, the next one of the 7, number 2 of the 7 habits of highly effective people, right? Number 2 is begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna add this right on in with that long term thinking. And if you guys haven't grabbed this book, the top 10 distinctions between millionaires and the middle class, one of those distinctions is long term thinking. And so you all paid the 200. What's the end game, right? Begin with the end in mind. You guys say you want to be directors, ambassadors, or whatever the case may be, whatever your goal is. If you're beginning with the end in mind, this means you can now what they call reverse engineer, backtrack your steps, right? And now figure out if the things that I'm doing on a regular basis have anything to do with the end that's in mind. If not, I should probably be scratching it. Go ahead, Two Jackets. What you got on begin with the end in mind?
That's a good point. Again, as I mentioned, when we partnered, we already saw what the end game for us was. The end game was for us to get that jacket, to secure that Planet Pledge, to understand that we could bring at minimum $1,000 a month into our household by simply growing an organization of 100 people, right? So that was the end game for us. And then we understood that now that we've gotten here, there's 8 other levels of directorship that we could attain if we focused on that. So again, understanding that we saw from the presentation before we even swiped the credit card what the end game for us was. Now, being proactive, right, and responsible, we had to put the rubber to the road and make it happen. It was nobody else's doing or saying. And I often tell people all the time, you know, Preston and Amani are my sponsors, but they never once had to come and say to me, hey, you're going to get to director today. Hey, you're going to get the goal builder. Like, those are not the conversations we have. What they understood is that I'm a go-getter. I'm going to go make it happen. I'm going to sit back and strategize, and I'm going to come back to them and say, hey, P, this is the plan. This is what I wrote out. This is what I'm working on, and he'll be like, good stuff, right? You got to be proactive. You got to know where you're going, and keeping the end in mind helps you to stay focused on that goal. You got to ask yourself why, right? What's the drive? What is the motivating force that will get you to be actionable in your business?
I love it. I love it. So listen, within that same word, and you kind of touched on it, with what we're talking about, begin with the end in mind. In layman's terms, ladies and gentlemen, what we're saying is you got to have vision, right? Where do you see yourself a few weeks from now, a few months from now, 5 years from now? What's the vision? What is the vision for your organization? What's the vision for your travel company? What's the vision for your family, right? What is the vision? And if you don't have any vision, then there's a word for that. I mean, you're blind, right? And if you're trying to be a leader and you don't have vision, now you're the blind leading the blind. And that I heard y'all can't even get across the street properly, right? So Two Jackets, go ahead and drop a nugget or two on vision.
Man, you got to have vision. And again, sometimes, you know, I tell people as a leader, we're looking at it from a holistic standpoint, right? We understand where we're trying to take our organization to. Most people don't have that type of foresight. They can't lead, you know, a camel to the water, really. So again, as you mentioned, it's the blind leading the blind. You got to understand where you're taking your organization. When these people trust you to lock arms and partner with you, where are you taking them? Where's the organization going? I already know where my organization is going. I already know who my key players are, who I can get orange juice from the lemons, like what work needs to be done, where I can have these coaching conversations, and they're gonna run the play that's called. This is already a go given. So as a leader, you got to be able to motivate, inspire, and create momentum inside of your own organization that's being built, and therefore that vision that you have will come to light. But you have to be able to know where you're going. You can't just get in, build a team, and you have no direction for them to go. You're not taking them anywhere.
I love it. I love it. You're not taking them anywhere if you don't have. So now, encompassing with that vision, because we want to help folks, right? So we're telling you got to have the vision. There's the vision or the end game in mind is the same as the goal, right? And there's a saying that goes, ladies and gentlemen, a goal without a plan is a wish. So it's one thing to have to begin with the end in mind. It's one thing to have the vision, but we need to certainly have a plan on how it's going to get done. And again, I'm not just speaking to you if you're or a dual agent, or if you're ITA only, it doesn't matter. You need to have a plan to execute. You got anything on executing the plan, Mr. Jenkins?
Absolutely. Both of the companies have done a great job of setting out that plan, right? IntelliTravel has the same thing. They have Dreammaker, Vacation Builder, Travel Genius, and then On Your Way to Becoming an Ambassador if that's your desire. So there are breadcrumbs and roadmaps for you to get through those levels, the same as it is on the Planet Marketing side, right? We have the Bronze Builder, Silver Builder, Gold Builder, and all of the ranking positions that you can get through. You have to be responsible for the execution. You have to make sure that you put your best foot forward to get in the game and do what you have to do to get it done. Eric, I see you back. I see Roger is me. Add Roger back to the stream. Boom. My man Roger, he is back. Now, Roger, we're talking about beginning with the end in mind and also being able to execute the plan of action to get you to that end game.
Okay. Well, I'm back. I don't know what happened, but that was interesting. Matter of fact, it took me all the way out of Facebook. I had to go all the way back in. But anyway, I'm back. Beginning with the end in mind. You have the beginning. When you start, what's your end game? Where you headed to? See, if you don't have an ending, right, and you're trying to grow a network, they don't know where they headed to. So you got to have an end game. So for you, is it just 1 star? Is it just Gold Builder? Is it 2 star and you good? Is it 3 star? But you should have your end game written down on paper, and you should share that end game with your leaders that come on board with you, because they need to know, okay, where you headed to. Because if you got somebody come on board and they hungry and they see that there's 9 stars to get, in the presentation, and they want to test out all 9 stars, but you only want to test out 1, they need to know that, because they need to be in contact with the leadership who's going that route. And if they don't know that you're not going that route, then you kind of leading them in the dark, blindfolded. So you want to have, a beginning when you get started, a start. You want to have a finish. And so, like for me, it's 9 stars. Why not try all 9 of them? So if they're to get, I'm going to test every last one that they have. And so, but you just want to make sure that you have a game plan when you come in the door, where you want to go to. And some of us belief level isn't high enough to even think of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stars. So you got to build your belief level up. And so guess what? That might be when you bring somebody on. Listen, man, I'm just getting started. I see everything. I'm just taking, 1 day at a time, a week at a time, and I'm going to grow with the business. At least they know where you coming from. Now, if they feel like they want to go 1 star in 1 year, they're probably going to talk to a 1-star director, and you should be okay with that. Back to you, Erica Durrell.
I love it. So look, the next one is, and we are again discussing the 7 habits of highly effective people, right? The next one is put first things first. Put first things first, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, that just talks about prioritization. How are you prioritizing things, not just in your business, but in your life? Some of you guys aren't prioritizing things properly in your life. Therefore, you think you don't have enough time to do things properly for your business, or you haven't really prioritized your business with your why. And now it becomes hard to do the thing that you need to do for your business, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's not a priority like your job is on that rainy day or that sunny day when you'd rather be out at the park and not go to work. You get up and do it anyway because you put first things first. This is what you should do for your business as well. So, gentlemen, speak on first things first, prioritizing things for your business.
I like, in fact, before we got on here today, I actually went over the seven habits, and this one's a good one. And I think that where does Planet Marketing line up for you in your priorities? Right, some of us, and I get it. Most of us are part time, so when we get off work, Yes, we have family. We got to take care of family first. I get that. The kids got homework, tennis practice, football practice, basketball practice, right? They have all these things for that's first. But what happens is we don't want to give up power, empire, some of those things. We got to watch our show first, and then it gets late, right? And then now it's too late to make any phone calls to prospects or do follow-ups or create a list or do some administrative work for your business. So it's on the bottom of your priorities for your business. So first things first, now you got to find a rhythm in your day, in your week, in your month, in your year to add your business in there because it should be a priority. So if you're watching people win and you're seeing people they're going through some struggles, the people that are winning, they got it as a high priority in their day. And so that's the difference. The difference between winning and not winning is will you prioritize your business of importance in your day. You Daryl?
Roger, that's good. You know, we have 24 hours in a day, and what we choose to do with it will separate us from the next person, right? You mentioned something that most of us are doing this on a part-time basis. What I will tell people is this, that I made a decision to begin with the end in mind, and therefore I'm now able to put first things first. I'm actively working my business because the one thing I understood is the business I built couldn't be taken away from me. You could go to work today or tomorrow, and that full-time job that you give all of your blood, sweat, and tears can be taken from you. Therefore, my priority is going to be first to my business and then to my employer. So I tell people I equally work them both with the same level of integrity and intensity. I'm not giving one more than the other, and I'm not making excuses for why things can't get done. It simply is what it is. And that's how we got to the point where we were coming out of the gate. You had to grind, right? It was the grit and the grind that got us where we were. It wasn't the excuses. People get comfortable. And they are, JP said it yesterday, they're comfortable in uncomfortable situations. They understand that they're living paycheck to paycheck, but you have a compensation plan that's aggressively designed to get you to the next place, but you rather do everything other than figure out how do I unlock all 9 levels of my matrix rather quickly, right? This is where you're putting first things first.
And I like something that you said, man, the part-time thing. 6 years ago when I first got started, we all started at zero. And I worked the business part-time, but what I hear you saying is there has to be some sacrifice, right, in your day, in your week, in your month to work your business so you can get it up and running. I always use that analogy, man, of, in order to get an airplane off the ground, right, it has to go up to 200 miles an hour. And so what's happening is a lot of us, we got it up to 100, 150. Some of us right there, though, some of us got it at 190. Just need 10 more miles an hour to go to get it off the ground. But at the end of the day, right, part-time, man, you got to do some sacrifice. So 3 years ago, for me, I was laid off. And thank God I took 2016, 2017, and 2018 to work my business every single day, right? I was in position when I got laid off, it didn't hurt me. In fact, I never went back to work, right? And so if I didn't take the business serious, if I didn't put first things first, I would still be working right now.
And that's a really good point. There's a lot of people who suffer in multiple facets of their career. Most of them really hate going to work. They don't like the people that they work with. They hate their supervisor. They hate the hours, the environment, right? But again, here it is. You have a potential opportunity that can pay you more than what you're earning on your full-time job on a part-time basis. We've seen people earn 6 figures on a part-time basis while working a full-time job. So the thing is if they can do it, what is stopping you? They kept the end in mind and first things first, which kept them on task to be successful in this opportunity. And now they're reaping the benefits of doing so. I think sometimes we play things super safe. And it's one of them things where we haven't quite figured out how or where to position ourselves in the opportunity. So therefore we're stuck. instead of trying to figure out how do I get here and at a rapid pace, right? Collapsing the time frames. We're looking at I gave an example to my team talking about the contest that Mr. Bradley has. I'm like, you guys literally have until July the 9th to get 9 business partners so that you can walk across that stage in front of 5,000 people and get that Fireball Award. That there would solidify to anybody who ever doubted anything that they have done in this opportunity. It would show proof. It's the social proof that's needed. So if you're going to a convention and you are watching this and you're not working towards getting your 9 active people by July the 9th, you should be doing so. You should be making that one of the things that you put first. Set a goal to accomplish that, if nothing else, so that you can walk across that stage as a winner.
Also, and we'll close on this one with this. What's really major is when you're putting first things first. This goes back to beginning with the end in mind, because I was on to something, right? Between the two, those two right there, your vision got to be big. Like if you don't stretch your vision, it's gonna be easy to say, you know what, this is too hard. So, but so the bigger the vision, the bigger the team, the bigger the paycheck. So, is Eric back with us?
He's back.
I'm back. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir, man.
Internet is crazy. They don't want us to give y'all this information. You know?
Today's been a challenge, but we fighting through it though.
This is what we do. So we done with that was the third one, right? Put first things first.
Yeah, we on to number 4 now. Number four.
Boom. Number 4 of the 7 habits of highly effective people. Number 4 is think win-win. Think win-win, ladies and gentlemen. This is talking about you need to be not only thinking about how this amazing opportunity is going to bless you and your family, but more importantly, how it's going to bless the people that you come in contact with, how it's going to bless the person that knows the person that knows you. People are calling me up talking about, hey, you know, so-and-so told me about you. You're the travel guy right now. Now I'm a blessing to the person after the person or after the fact. So you're thinking win-win, or another word to say mutual benefit, right? This is what you want to think about in this opportunity. And this is what the 7 habits of highly effective people do, ladies and gentlemen. They're thinking win-win. Daryl, on your right-hand side of the column, if you hit that button, it says brand, I believe banner. You'll be able to change the button to prop up, hit win-win. There's a section that says banner, and then you can change. There you go. So go ahead, Mr. Little or Daryl, y'all can go ahead and jump on the conversation of thinking win-win.
Well, what I love about number 4 is, you know, we have our company has 14 pillars, and my favorite pillar is competitive spirit. And so, you know, growing up in sports, like my dad threw me on the football field when I was 6 years old, and I played football for probably 8, 9 years. But long story short, so I'm very competitive. So I like to win. You know, I don't like coming in last. That's just me. So I'm very competitive. But one thing I do know is people want to move with people who are winning, right? Yes, you have to have challenges. You know, they say you learn more from the challenges than you learn from winning, because it teaches you how to bounce back. So if you're going through a struggle right now, you're supposed to be going through that. It's helping your character be strong. Because watch this. If everybody was getting to 1-star, 2-star, or directorship easily, we all be director. So if you're going through a challenge, if you're struggling, you're supposed to. So when you get there, you can tell people how you've won. You can tell your story. See, without no challenges, without no struggle, there's no story. So, for instance, Daryl got a story. Eric, we all have stories of struggle. And guess what? Because our goals are so big, we still struggling because we haven't got to where we want to be yet. So you got to go through some struggle. You got to go through some strain. It's good for you. It's strong, right? And so, again, winning, man, is the winning attitude. You got to have a winning attitude, right? And I heard this gentleman say, A.L. Williams, he said, always, 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 always be positive in your business. And how you do that? By having a winning attitude. Back to you, Daryl.
So I would say, when you think win-win, I look at it from a perspective where me being a leader in my organization, there's a win-win situation that is created inside of my downline. When I'm sacrificing to help other people to win, I'm going to win by default. So there's always going to be a win-win situation when you're looking at how do you help others get to their next level, which ultimately will get you to yours. And so that's what we're looking at, in my opinion, when I'm looking at the win-win situation, right? All of us are going to win, but we're going to win because we're helping the next person get to that next level in the business, which ultimately I'm going to win in return by default.
I love it. I love it.
Welcome back, sir.
I'm back. Y'all can see me this time?
Yes, sir.
You look like a person.
I look like a person today. I was a circle a second ago. Win. So that was number 4, right?
Yes, sir.
Number 5. I love this one because this one right here is a key to success, ladies and gentlemen. Seek to understand, then to be understood. Right? See, some of y'all, I don't care what side of the business you're on. Some of you all just want to be understood. You need them to understand that you got a business and you selling this and they can benefit this, and you're not listening. You need to understand where they're coming from. You need to understand that maybe they're not interested in your money. Maybe they just want to travel, or maybe vice versa. You need to listen. We call it in counseling sessions and stuff like that. We call that being active listening, being an active listener, right? This is an effective way to communicate. You need to, that's why you got the 2 ears, right? So that you can hear twice as much as you speak, right? Active listening. And then when you do this within your business, you will find that your customers will deliver to you, usually on a platter, their hot buttons, right? You ask the right questions, they're going to talk and give you the best routes for them to go. So seek to understand and then to be understood. Mr. Lillard, what you think on that?
This is one of my favorite topics. I actually I put a post on social media. I might post it in the group. It's funny. It's a pink monster and a green frog. And the pink monster starts to talk, right? And then the frog starts over talking the pink monster, and the pink monster goes off on. It's one of my favorite videos all time. I might post it in. But one of the things that I learned in How to Win Friends and Influence People out of that book is to teach you how to become a good listener. And so it says, like Eric said, it says, seek first to understand. So when the person is talking, you're listening to what they're saying. Have you ever had anybody say to you, "Are you listening to me?" You know why they ask that question? Because they're used to somebody over talking them. So if 2 people are talking at the same time, it's impossible to understand anybody. Then you get into an argument, then they're mad at each other, and nobody understood anything. So when you're speaking to prospects, you want to listen to what they're saying. So now you understand, then you can explain the things so that you could be understood. So it says, listen before you talk. You got to listen before you talk. It's so hard for some people. It's hilarious. And I've talked to people, they'll talk for 5 straight minutes, and I won't say anything. I say 3 words, they start talking again. And so I'm like, this can't be one-sided here. I mean, goodness and mercy, right? So at the end of the day, you all become a good listener. And I promise you, when you're listening to people, you can control the conversation, right? You ever seen somebody, they start feeling, if you listen to me, you're just looking at them in the eye and they're talking, they start squirming. When they start lying, they squirming, they moving all over the place sideways, because if they feeding you some BS, right, belief system, they feed you some stuff that, they think that you don't believe what they're saying. So they'll stop and say, "Are you listening?" Yes. They finish so I can respond, right? But at the end of the day, become good listeners. And you'll, watch this. I'll close with this. Coaches on teams listen to their leadership. they're the best coaches. So if you're listening to your organization, right, now you're listening to them, and now you can have a win-win situation if you're listening. Number 5, seek first to understand and then be understood.
So I come from a call center background. I started in 2000, and one of the first things we learned in our initial training was to listen on what we call listening level 1. That means to be actively listening attentively to what is being said in the conversation. And it also identifies a space for you to be able to write down some key things in that conversation, right? Some things that you may be able to zero in on in that conversation, and then understand how what product and service you have can be paired with what that person is looking for that they shared in their conversation. Sometimes that approach is also great to use in a coaching session as well, as you're going through. Some of you are leaders, you're building a team, and you're going to have these conversations with your people to get them to their next level. And so jotting down things in your conversation, right? You should be still prospecting them on your team through your coaching phase, right? Some of us are doing SWOT analysis with the team, right? Understanding what their strengths, their weaknesses, their opportunities and threats may be that could prevent them from getting to the next level. So as you're going through that conversation and you're talking to them, they're pouring into you what their challenges may be, right? What their wins, what their successes may be. And you're writing those things down. So now you can understand, where do I need to focus my time on to help them get to the next level? Where are the critical pieces of their business that they are stuck at that I can help move them? But if you're not listening to what they're saying and only your idea matters, it's never going to go anywhere, because you have to understand where their pain points are. When I'm talking to my goal builders and above, I'm telling them, when you're coaching your people, when you're having these conversations, find out what their challenges are, what they're stuck, what are they doing, so you understand how you need to now move them to the next level. If we're not having those conversations, then you don't know, and they're just operating in the blind. So seek first to understand and then be understood in your position.
That's good. That's good. Eric, you still with us?
I'm here. I don't know what happened. My picture went out again. Maybe the internet said that Bama look funny. You never know. Number 6, ladies and gentlemen, of the 7 habits of highly effective people. Number 6 is synergize. Listen, at the end of the day, this just boils down to good old-fashioned teamwork. They say teamwork makes the dream work. And highly effective people understand that in order to be highly effective, it takes a team, right? You can't wear 17,000 hats, right? Not only do you need a team, it says teamwork. Synergy implies that the team is working well together, right? Like a well-oiled machine or something like that, right? All the moving parts, and the moving parts are not always the same parts. Matter of fact, they shouldn't be. It'd be a funny looking machine if every part was the same, right? So this means that the parts are different parts, different shapes, different sizes, well-oiled, and they're all working together to do whatever is needed. At the end of the day, teamwork makes the dream work. And if you really want to be effective, you understand you can't really just be this lone ranger. They say it's lonely at the top. Yes, this is true from different scenarios. But those lone rangers have put together the team, or the dream team, so to speak, right? Put together your dream team. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead and chop it in on synergize.
I've been in this industry for it'll be 26 years in October. And Eric, you probably can attest to this. Back in the 90s, we didn't have any social media. So in order to get the team synergized, we had to leave the house. And so I was gone a lot. Like we would go over people's houses. In fact, I remember not recently, but we used to do what's called First Friday training. So every first Friday, we would get together and go to somebody's house, and we would fellowship. And most of the time, we would talk about something out of one of the personal development books that we had, the list that we had. And then everybody would bring a dish, and we would eat, man, have a good time. So that was, our way to synergize the team. But today, you all, this right here is synergy. If you're watching this right now, this causing some synergy through not just you, but if your team is watching, they're being synergized. So to have synergy is pretty much a lot. It's a lot more. I don't want to say the word easy, but it's simple today than it was yesterday, because we live. I mean, we could talk to each other. We can have stories, right? Somebody right now is in Louisiana watching this. Somebody's in California, Florida, right? And so it's easy to pull more people together to synergize togetherness. So again, if you're plugged in, you'll be able to synergize your team. Just have them plug into the system. The system's in place. I mean, we got every first and third Monday at 8 o'clock, we got travel talk training. That'll help you synergize your team. Gerald, you probably have other trainings going on in your organization. Eric, you as well. So we got all kind of ways to get information to synergize your team as well. And then we have major events like the convention. You should be there, right? That's another way we synergize the team. So we have many ways of synergizing the team, but together we all get things done better when synergy comes together.
And synergy, Raj, when I think about it, is it's providing a collaborative space, right? We understand that every person in our organization has a different personality trait. They are a different color, or in your case, a different animal trait, right? And so they bring something different to the table. And what I love is that a lot of times people are getting together and bonding in certain circles, creating synergy amongst the team, right? Whether it is at a leadership level or all-inclusive team type of event, Mr. Scott and Mr. Clifton here, we, crabs and karaoke, or our team cookout, or the awards banquet, or the bowling parties that we do. All of these are synergistical things that bring the team together and put them on one accord, right? Everybody's moving in the right direction. So the energy is flowing in a positive manner, therefore making everybody want to continue to be a part of something that is doing something in the correct manner, in a positive space that is comforting. They understand that we've moved from a team space to now more like family, right? Even doing it with your leaders, right? Breaking bread with them. We call them masterminding sessions, but what really is happening is you're synergizing that team, right? You're getting a small group of leaders to be on one accord, to move in the right direction, to get your organization to the next level. That is creating the synergy that you need to move into your next level. So I think that when you look at it holistically, are you the only person that is looking to improve your focus overall? What about the others in your organization? What are you helping them to move, away from? What things or pain points are they faced with, right? So there's things that come through those sessions when you're strategizing and figuring out where we're going to move our organization, right? Because each of us have different legs of business, and all of us, yourself, Eric, Clifton, even Preston, we all kind of move differently in how we are leading the leg of business, rolling up into the Platinum Network, but we're all still following Mr. Bradley's synergy, right? He's created a space for us to work in, and we're moving in his direction, but all in different legs of business, and maybe even in a different manner, but it's all on the same parallel. That makes sense.
Absolutely, absolutely. And within that synergy creates the energy that we need to continue to move and do what we do. And it's going to bring us to this last habit of the 7 habits of highly effective people. And this is sharpening the saw. This one right here, I mean, this one speaks to some of the folks that think that Daryl, they think they're doing their business. And when we talk to them, I'm doing that thing. I'm making this run to director. I'm doing this. I'm booking. You're doing it and doing it and doing it well according to your own mindset, right? But what we know is that if you don't take a moment to sharpen the saw, your busy work becomes non-productive. You just really, really busy at hacking away at this tree, trying to figure out how come it's been a month or 2 or 3, and you're not at the position you need. You haven't knocked that tree down because your saw is dull. Your knife isn't sharp. how do you fellas do you sharpen this knife so that you can continue the grind? This is also how some people get burnt out, by the way. You know everything you need to know. You got all the tools, but you get burnt out. Just like the non-sharpened knife or saw, because you haven't taken time to study. You haven't taken time to learn something new. You haven't taken time to do what we call the basic personal development and business development. Go ahead, gentlemen. Touch on sharpening the saw.
Go ahead, Daryl.
You know, this for me was one of the cornerstones in my business as I started almost 9 years ago, is taking accountability for my own personal and professional development in this industry, right? You know, one of the things Mr. Bradley will say to me is, Daryl, I see you everywhere. You were on a plane in Arizona, and I seen you in Atlanta, and I see you over here. And then, oh, by the way, now you're also over here with IntelliTravel. I'm everywhere I'm supposed to be, right? There's people who make excuses for not getting up to go do anything. In fact, I'm headed to Atlanta for the boot camp tomorrow night when I get off work. So again, we're checking the things off, right? I'm still going to do my full-time work. And when I clock out, I'm on a plane. I'm going to work from Atlanta Friday, and boom, we're going to, you know, tackle this boot camp. But again, you have to position yourself to want more, to want to learn more from a guy who's earned 6 figures, 7 figures over 15 plus years, and now created 3 7-figure income earners, right? You want to be able to hear what he has to say, how he has led them. And again, as I always tell people, he is an African-American male from Baltimore, Maryland, which means that he knew the struggle before anybody else firsthand. He witnessed it and experienced it. So if he could teach people to make 7 figures, I'm sure he can get me to 6 easily. So I'm going to be everywhere I'm supposed to be in this business, no matter what the cost is. People cried about, oh, it's $300 to go to the boot camp. Boom, credit card out, done. Eagle weekend, my birthday weekend, 2 weeks after this, flying to Miami, $500 price point. Boom, done, credit card out, right? Convention, $400. Boom, credit card out. The thing is if you want to grow in this business and you want to be in a space where you're earning a 6-figure income, you got to go where the information is, right? You got to follow what your leader is asking of you. And I tell people, one thing my team can never say is, oh, I don't go because Daryl don't go. That would be a lie. That would be a lie. Because every time you see me, I'm gone. I'm on a plane. I don't have no problem. Nothing holding me back. If it is to be, it's up to me. So you definitely have to go get poured into by somebody else. And you can't always make an excuse about the money. I tell people, and I shared this on a previous What's the Word Wednesday, if you are a builder on this call and you are actively working your business, when that price point dropped to $300, you knew how many people you need to partner with to get you $300 relatively quickly, if that was your issue. There's still about 400 tickets left to convention. Most of you have not gotten them. Still have time to go get your 9 people to qualify for that Fireball Award, which will in turn be the money you need to pay for your convention registration. Where there is a will, there is a way. We can't make excuses. We have to make the adjustments.
That was good. That was a good, tough. I should have went first, Eric.
Well, good. Listen, go ahead, Mr. Lillard. Matter of fact, see, Daryl always hitting, shooting them straight from the hip. But Mr. Lillard, give the all, because where there's a will, there's a way. But there are some people who are either brand new or because of some circumstantial life challenge, they maybe can't just pull the card out. See, some of us have, like Two Jackets, a good paying job on the back end, right? So for the person that's brand new, the girl, she's a manager at the local Starbucks, Two Jackets. She can't just pull out the black like you can. She don't have the black card yet. So for that person, Mr. Lillard, what are the ways, still eliminating excuses, what are the ways that person can sharpen their axe and not feel, because some people will feel bad about not being able to do X, Y, and Z. But Daryl touched on the blueprint, obviously get your business done quick and you'll have the money. But for the person that's brand new, give them what do I just started. I just paid the $200. You told me to whoop. what are the alternative methods for me to shop in my acts, Mr. Lillard?
Well, first and foremost, I will say this. In order to get where Daryl is at, that mindset, that philosophy already has to be in place.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're brand new, you want to have that mindset that, I'm going to build my business to get to the point where I can do all of those things in the future. And then when you go right back here where it says have the ending in mind, that's what you want to have written down on paper. So by this time next year, I'm going to go to one of those events, and the next year, two of those events. And then, so you continue to build. Just give an example. So for somebody brand new to sharpen the saw, if you're brand new, the first thing you want to do is get the book Go Pro. That's it. Get that book Go Pro and read it. Not just read it, take notes out of it, right? And learn how to become a network marketing professional. If you're brand new, go through your, Mr. Scott says, with IntelliTravel, touch every button, go through your whole back office, right? If you watch this, if you're sitting at home watching television and you haven't touched every button in your back office, you're not serious about your business. That's one other way to sharpen your saw, is finding out what you got in your back office. You know what's interesting? We'll buy a new phone and spend half the day going through it. Got a business sitting over here making you no money, but can make you money, but we're not going through it over here. So why are we doing that? So these are ways to sharpen the saw. Reading, staying plugged in, right? Now, we're not saying stay plugged into everything. We're saying stay plugged in what you can stay plugged into. Everything is recorded, by the way, so there's no way you can miss it, right? And so do the reading. Go to the events in your local marketplace, right? If you can go, if you're watching television and there's an event going on in your marketplace, you can't sharpen your saw. And I'm gonna close with this. Some of us, they on everything. Their saw sharp as it cut your head off, but they're not even using it. This saw is already sharpened, but why are you not using it?
We call that knowledge on ice.
Yeah, if you've been here for a year and you've been plugging in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and you've been plugging in everything, your saw is, man, it's razor sharp. Just swing it. It'll happen for you, but you got to swing it. Back to you, Eric.
Hey, I'm loving this. Sharpening the saw, ladies and gentlemen, as we're closing out, gives you a sense of renewal. Right? It gives you a sense of renewal and refreshing, right? And this is the reason why some of you haven't gotten over the hump, right? Or some of you haven't gotten through the brick wall, so to speak, right? We haven't renewed ourselves. We haven't. The new energy comes along with the new information, right? New strength, new resourcefulness, right? Maybe in sharpening my saw, I realized to get through this brick wall, I probably shouldn't be using the saw. Maybe I need to put the saw down and get this jackhammer. But I don't know how to use a jackhammer. But I need to get through this brick wall. I've been at DIT for 80 years. I've been at 1 star for too long. I've been at 2 star for too long. I need to sharpen the saw or pick up a new tool and learn how to use it so that we can bust through this brick wall, especially if the goal that we say on the other side of the brick wall is important enough. Sharpen your saw, take some time out to do it. Two Jackers, closing remarks, sir.
I think this was a very responsible call on tonight. I think that, those 7 habits of highly effective people that we shared on tonight, and just our viewpoints alone, may have helped some people in this business. If they're brand new, maybe they are restarting the business post-pandemic, trying to get their feet, off the ground, try to implement many of these things, incrementally. I think that that's important. So with that being said, I'm looking forward to all of the success within our organization overall.
I love it. Quick reminder, platinumwednesdays.com. Jump on in there right now. You should be already online with your guests. Even though you're watching us, you should be over there at the same time, some kind of way. Mr. Lillard, Any closing remarks? Also, a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back here on first Wednesday of next month. But closing remarks from you, Mr. Lillard.
I'll be quick, man. I just want to say, there was a lot of information shared tonight. Get the book. Get the book. Get the book and add it to your library. In fact, I was told if you want to find out how if you have a true leader, look at the library. See what they have in the library, right? And Mr. Bradley, his library is insane, and that's why he's where he is. And so get the book, man. 7 Habits of Effective People. So did I say that right?
Look, you messing it up too. I thought
Yeah,
it was just me,
my
man.
sinus is a little choppy, but at the end of the day, you all, like Daryl said, man, we do this training, we do this podcast so that you all can be inspired, encouraged to go out and win in your business. And so, much success to you all, and we will see you right back here.
We're gonna see you right back. And listen, since we talked about these successful habits that the highly effective people, I believe we'll be right back on first Wednesday discussing how to break these old habits. You got and possibly which old habits some of you guys need to break and replace them with something. So we're gonna give y'all some specific things to stop doing these old habits and some new stuff. So come on in, tell your friends, tell your crew, come on, join us. If you're watching the replay, as Mr. Lillard would say, #replay in the chat somewhere. But we'll be right back here on first Wednesdays. We're gonna be talking about getting rid of these old habits. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Peace, love, and hair grease. And we are out. Look, next time we'll have